I gave my stepmom the perfect Mother's Day gift, then watched her face as she realized what it really meant. My stepmom Monica moved in when I was 13 and immediately became our house's self-appointed medical expert. She'd taken one CPR class at the community center, but somehow that made her qualified to diagnose everything. "You don't need Tylenol, just drink water and stop being dramatic," was her favorite line whenever I complained about feeling sick. It started in February. I began feeling exhausted constantly, like bone-deep tired that sleep couldn't fix. My skin looked pale, almost gray, and I'd get dizzy standing up. "Growing pains," Monica declared without looking up from her phone. "Teenagers are always tired. It's called being lazy." When I mentioned feeling nauseous, she rolled her eyes. "Probably just anxiety. You kids today overthink everything." The dizziness got worse. I'd have to sit down in the middle of walking to class. My friends started asking if I was okay, but every time I brought it up at home, Monica would launch into her speech about teenage dramatics. By March, I was practically falling asleep standing up. My grades started slipping because I couldn't concentrate. I begged Dad to take me to a doctor, but Monica intervened every time. "She's fine, Frank. Don't waste money on unnecessary appointments. Kids her age just want attention." The breaking point came during biology class when everything went gray around the edges. I gripped my desk, but nearly face-planted into my textbook. My teacher caught me and said, "We're calling your parents and you're seeing the school nurse immediately." The school nurse took one look at me and said, "This child needs blood work today." "That's completely unnecessary," Monica protested when she arrived. "I've been monitoring her symptoms." "Ma'am," the nurse interrupted coldly, "I'm a registered nurse with 20 years experience. This student is exhibiting classic signs of severe anemia." 2 hours later, at the ER, the doctor delivered crushing news. "Your daughter's hemoglobin is 6.2. Normal is 12/14. If you'd waited another week, she would have needed an immediate blood transfusion." Monica's face drained of color as he continued. "How long has she been showing symptoms?" "About 6 weeks," I said quietly. 6 weeks? Early intervention is crucial with anemia. Untreated, this could have led to heart problems or worse. Over the next few weeks, Monica became suspiciously quiet about medical topics, but she never apologized. Mother's Day arrived 2 months later. Monica had planned a brunch with her girlfriends, including several actual nurses from the hospital where she volunteered. I spent weeks planning her gift. Inside a beautiful white box, I arranged a medical textbook on pediatric blood disorders, bookmarked to the anemia chapter with symptoms highlighted in yellow. Underneath were my blood test results with dangerous numbers circled in red, and a photo of me in the hospital with an IV. The card read, "Thank you for teaching me that when someone says they're not feeling well, we should always believe them. Your stepdaughter who could have died." She opened it at brunch in front of all her nurse friends. Her face went through confusion, recognition, then horror as they saw the contents. "Monica, please tell me you didn't ignore severe anemia symptoms," said Nancy, an ICU nurse with 30 years experience. The room went silent as the real nurses realized what had happened. Nancy picked up the textbook and read the bookmarked page. "These symptoms are listed right here. Fatigue, pallor, dizziness. This is basic stuff, Monica." Another nurse held up my results. A hemoglobin of 6.2? This child could have had heart failure. They spent an hour explaining why her behavior was dangerous, using medical terminology she couldn't argue with. Monica's perfect brunch turned into an impromptu medical ethics lecture that left her completely humiliated in front of everyone. Dad found me afterward and said quietly, "That was brutal to watch." "Good," I replied. "Maybe now she'll think twice before playing doctor with someone's life." Monica hasn't given medical advice since that day. She doesn't contradict doctors anymore and actually asks if I want to see one when I feel sick. Sometimes, the best gifts teach people who they really are and force them to face the uncomfortable truth about themselves.